Good evening, everyone. My name is Oussama Zaki. Actually, this is my first talk in Stockholm. Or yeah, I just moved here like back in February. So yeah, I joined Betsson in February. I've been doing front end for a quite long time, and today I'm trying to talk about Webpack2. So basically, this is not. I'm not gonna show you guys how to use Webpack2. I'm just gonna say it's like experience sharing how we use Webpack2. It's just like a tasting. So you can taste what Webpack2 is, and you can like go around and check tutorials online and like check the documentation is very good. So how many of you have heard of Webpack2? Whoa, whoa, whoa! It's like almost everyone. It's like thank you for your attention. Any questions? All right, just kidding. Well, yeah. I just have a quick story about. I have a friend who's a plumber, and he's like one of my fun friends, and he's always passionate about his tool. He's like screwdrivers and stuff like that, and he's like whenever we talk about stuff, he was like, "Oh guys, you should see my new screwdriver. It's like really cool. This handler is like super fun, and like the screw is like has this magnet, and it's like automatic and stuff like that." It's like he never gets like bored of those stuff. So one day I had this problem at my house. It's like with the sink, and I like asked him like, "Yeah, can you come and fix this thing?" So he came, and yeah, he started doing his stuff. And I was like just chatting with him, like, you know, while he's doing his job. It's like question of like trying to give him a good time. So I tried to annoy him a bit. So I've seen him like struggling with one of those screws, and I was like, I have one of those screwdriver that you want to you maybe want to try. So I was like trying to annoy him. I know that he was like really attached to his tools, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, bring it." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! What are you doing here? Aren't you like in love with your tools and stuff like that?" So he said something. It was never about the tools, and that's like it's the same thing that's happened to us. We have objectives. It's like getting things done. That's what we do, and it's like as my friend the plumber was like, "Yeah, sure, bring it. I will try it." And yeah, that's what he did, and he did the job. And that's what we actually do every day if we think about it. That's what we do. We have like a bunch of stack that we do. We build products and stuff, but we use tools, like a lot of tools. From IDE to like build tools to test tools to whatever tools, documentation tools. But it's not about the tools actually. And when we say it's not about the tools, that doesn't mean that you need to do it from scratch and go do it the hardcore way. Yeah, you can do it. Good luck. But it's this spirit of being open to tools and try new stuff and things like that. And that's what we do mainly at Betsson. We try new stuff and try new tools and try to adapt. If something is cool, yeah, we keep working with it. If we struggle with something, we try to look for alternative and stuff like that. So that's basically what we do at Betsson. And this is how our stack looks like. So at Betsson, we have this prefix Betsson. It's like the Swedish one, I guess, and we add it to everything. If we have like I don't know, a party son. If we have a competition son. Everything we add son, stuff like that. So I thought maybe I could say stack son, and this is the stack son within Betsson. Front end stack son, obviously, and mainly what we use JavaScript. If you guys are familiar with that, SAS for styling, npm for package as a package manager. We use Angular 2. We use Angular 1 for some projects, Angular 2 for others. We are trying Ionic 2, Gulp as a task runner. We use Protractor for end-to-end testing, Jasmine as a test framework, and Karma as a test runner. And we use System.js as a module loader. So this stack for us is like, okay, we tried a lot of frameworks, a lot of stuff, and yeah, cool. We've been building stuff with this stack as long as I remember. But recently we found several problems with System.js. It's I'm not against System.js, guys. If any lover of System.js, so yeah, please. So System.js, we found like some issues with System.js. It's like we work with this like architecture, modular architecture. So we have all our we have a big projects like a site or like whatever project can you think of, and we have like modular libraries that we can use across Betsson. As you know, Betsson is a multi-brand company, so we have like a lot of brands, and we don't want to, like for example, if we are developing a login feature, we're not doing it for all the brands. We do it once in a package, for example, a JavaScript package, and we just use it in other stuff. So we have those a lot of modular packages, and what we do is that we link when we're like trying a new package. How many of you guys are familiar with npm link? If you are guys do, so that's what we do. We link packages to the actual site, so we can, if we are doing changes in these small packages, we just see it happen in the site and so on. And one of the problem that we had is that one of the cool features of Gulp, or like this modern web development, is that there is this watch thing that you can have live change on your website as long as you develop and you make changes, you stuff like that. And one of the like most annoying things as a developer, as I can say, is like system.js was like really slow. Whenever we do any change in a small like line, I just add a console log. It's like I need like to wait like 2 minutes to see it happening again in the browser, and that's like was really annoying. That's like one thing. Second thing is that the bundled the JavaScript that we create, as you know, we this is like a lot of modules, a lot of dependencies. But as you know, if in order to consume it in a browser, it's like you need one JavaScript file or like 2 or whatever you handle it. And this bundle was really huge, and it takes some time to create, and it's not like optimized anyway. And we couldn't like we felt like we were stuck with system.js. We don't have the expertise. It's cool, but we're not good with it. We just have to look for another alternative. So what we did is that we took Webpack instead of system.js. Like system.js, okay, let's try Webpack. So we've had some few people like working on Webpack a little bit, doing some workshops, trying a few things out, and we've kept up our workflow, so we won't like stop and we only do system.js Webpack. We kept doing our things. It's not dependent. And we start like investigating Webpack. Okay, what can we do with Webpack? What can other stuff that system.js cannot offer and Webpack can offer? And this is what it is. It's not about the tool. It's like, okay, let's not give our heart to system.js and be like, no, we only use system.js because we've been doing it forever and stuff like that. So we said, okay, we're gonna try Webpack, and we did, and it was a success. Now it's used in our day-to-day development process. And it's really good. And today I'm gonna try to share why we choose the Webpack, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of code, like how we organize our configuration and stuff like that. And I'm sorry I can't show you. I'm not gonna show you a tutorial of how to set it. I'm just, as I said, experience sharing. So yeah, the question is why Webpack? I mean, as you guys know, there's like a lot of frameworks out there, libraries out there, like Rollup, Browsify. I don't know. I can like keep listing, and maybe like when I finish this talk, or another library will be published. You never know. Things happen nowadays in front end. But yeah, why Webpack? Well, the answer is the web evolved. Do you guys remember those script tags that we insert like back in the days in our HTML codes, like insert app.js, like script app.js, and that's it. Or maybe you can add like jQuery or Lodash or whatever you want, and that's it. You have it. Just HTML, one script, and you just go with it. But no, like the web evolved. Like, I mean, that's what happened. And we don't talk anymore about websites. We talk about single-page applications. We talk about progressive web apps. It's 2016. It's like, I mean, yeah, you still could do websites. Yeah, that's like have a purpose. If you want to do like a landing page, yeah, you can still do it without normal websites. Tutorials like that exist everywhere, and yeah. But now we're talking about like large apps, like with millions of users and thousands of users in like in real time, and you know what I'm talking about, right? So that's it. Like more progressive web apps, more complicated code, like more and more JavaScript. Not even talking about JavaScript, I'm talking about JSX. People are if some people from the React community here, TypeScript, Bubble, stuff like that. I mean, we're like eager to use ECMAScript 6. If you guys familiar with those names, I'm sorry if someone doesn't understand. We can discuss that later. But yeah, we have a lot of changes here. We're not talking about just JavaScript. Like, people use different languages and different standards, and like everyone wants to be the best. Everyone wants to use the latest thing. Everyone wants to use the latest standard, and that's it. And we are like not even using I mean, some people still use CSS, but a lot of people use Sass less, and you need preprocessor for that, and you need when you use also TypeScript and stuff, you need preprocessor, you need transpilers, and so whenever you add something new to your stack, you'll need an extra build step in your process in order to ship your product. Another thing, so remember all those facts, all of those facts will emerge to why Webpack. So another thing is that we have more modular code, more dependencies. If I show you guys our package.json, we'll be like, I'll keep scrolling, because we're just using like libraries and like our libraries, like in-house libraries and outside libraries, like Moment.js, Zone.js, Raven.js. I mean, I could spend all night listing them. And when we use modular code and dependencies, sometimes we put ourselves in a situation where we have what we call dead code and use modules. Like, oh wait, we're gonna use Moment.js to have this cool date format, but hey, after 2 weeks the requirement changes. We never thought about removing that dependencies. It's still there. What happens if we ship the product? It's just gonna be there if we didn't do it the right way. It's like you're just gonna ship the whole Moment.js with the locally filed translation of the day and month and everything, but it will never be used, and that's not good. And that's why also Webpack2. Another thing is product and code quality. And here I put them both in same slide, but it's different. When I talk about product quality, I'm talking about unit testing, end-to-end testing, and integration testing. It's like when you have, it's the quality for the user. It's like I want my app to be bug-free. It's because it's a whole app. It's not a website anymore. It's an app. There is a lot of interactions, a lot of JavaScript, and JavaScript could be like eager to bugs and stuff like that. We have, when we talk about code quality, we talk about linting. As you know, nowadays developers are a bit spoiled. We have code styling. So, no, don't do those kind of brackets. No, open brackets and close it, even if the if has one instruction. You know, things like that. I mean, we all hear about like standards like that, but we need to align, and that's what we use linting, and that's why also Webpack2. Another point is production against developments. It's not the same code. Sometimes you want to minify, sometimes you want to include a module, sometimes you just want to test and debug things. So it's not same code base that you're going to serve in development. It's going to be different in production, and that's why also Webpack2. And the last one is my favorite, is the user expectation. So back in the days, we just have to serve a website and people would be like super impressed. Oh my god, this is a website. It's like there is this contact me form. It's like, oh, this is cool, I'm gonna contact them. It's like pictures, carousel, do you remember? Stuff like animation and cool stuff. But now like the standards are higher. It's like 2016. And if you are like a tech company, and if you are a front-end developer, and if you don't meet these expectations, your application is, sorry to say it, is crap. It's just like the user is gonna be like, nah. User now is used to cool applications, to fast applications, to a great user experience. So you either deliver that expectation or just go back to, just change your job, just do something else. Because this is it. I mean, come on, let's be serious. And yeah, and key things, performance. The app needs to be fast. Loading a 2 megabytes JavaScript file is not acceptable. I want to use my app or my website in the Alps while I'm skiing. It's like the connection there is not the best. And loading a 2 megabytes JavaScript file, yeah, we need to ask a lot of questions. And as you can see, web has emerged a lot, like a lot of changes. But what's happened to the browsers? Do you guys know what's happened? Not much. It's still the same thing. It's like you load the JavaScript file with the header, the handshaking, and like all those stuff like that. And let's imagine you want to load 200 JavaScript file in one site. So you do know how like the performance will be out. And so the web browsers didn't change. It's still HTML DOM and like rendering and coloring stuff. And then there is the JavaScript that runs everything, and that's it. Like it's not as we want it. That's why we have the module loaders. That's why we have a lot of transpilers and things like that. So this is why we choose the Webpack. We have like a lot of requirements, a lot of needs that we need to fill, and that's what pushed us to use Webpack. So if you go to Webpack official website, you will find something like this. So just go Webpack, Google Webpack, and that's what you'll get. And this doesn't, personally, it doesn't say any like much. You have like bunch of dependencies, module with dependencies. In our case, it's TypeScript dependencies, but it could be anything like HTML, styling files, pictures, PNG files, SVG, JavaScript files, whatever you want. But in our case, in Betsson, we have like TypeScript files. And you have like Webpack module bundler, then you have like static assets. Let's say, oh, this is for production, this is for dev, this is for per feature and things like that. But in Betsson, we don't see it only like that. In Betsson, we see it more in a coupling with gulp. So if you guys remember, in our stack, we had gulp as a task runner. And just a hint here, Webpack is also could be a task runner because it has its own CLI and you can run tasks on it. But here in Betsson, we had already our tasks, like gulp task written like for I don't know how long, but we had them. So what we did is just we kept those tasks and we integrated Webpack to it. So we keep our task, and for example, if we're gonna build, we're gonna like transpile JavaScript, we're gonna use the Webpack plugin to do that. If we're gonna minify, we're gonna use Webpack, but still everything is organized in gulp tasks. So one of the use for us as Betsson for gulp plus Webpack is as a task runner. Both. I will take Webpack and gulp as one stack. So if we take one of those, our system will break. We can't build unless we replace it with something else. So first of all, we use it as a task runner, and for that we do lint check-in and we run tests on that, and that's what we call the plugins. And plugins mainly are used after the build process. Like for example, you can uglify or do minify or whatever you want to call it. And also we in the task runner we use we transpile TypeScript, we pre-process the SAS file, and those are called the loaders, and those are done before the bundling. You load those files. That's basically what we do. We tell Webpack as with a config file, you're gonna load those files. And you guys, if you go through the documentation, I'm gonna show you the files after. If you go through the documentation, you're gonna load which file you want, what you wanna do with them. So I'm gonna load all the TypeScript file and wanna transpile them into JavaScript. I wanna load all the HTML file. I'm just gonna pass them as raw as they are. I'm just gonna load the SAS file and pre-process them, and that's how you tell Webpack to do stuff. Another use of this stack, Webpack plus gulp, is to bundle and cut split, and this is like really important for us. We have multiple files. Depends on the features, how many features. If we have 200 features, we will have 600 files. That's how it works, because we split our codes per feature and per like crunch. And when we have multiple files, we want to bundle them together. We don't want to pass 600 files. We just want to pass one file, but that's also bad because it's gonna be huge. What we do is that we have multiple files, we bundle them, then we have multiple outputs. And the outputs depend on what you want. If you want, like for example, the outputs per feature, let's say you have a single page app with I don't know what you want to do, like you have news and you have a user profile. And most of the users don't access their profile often. Why would you load the code for that user profile in the app if the user don't need it like all the time? Just load what is essential. So let's call it the common bundle, and that's what you're gonna load. And if the user want to go to the profile page, as I said, this is a single page app. It's like everything on the same one. Want to access the profile feature, just load that file then, and that's it. That's where you get on performance, and that's what Webpack can do for us. You just split by feature or by pages or whatever you want. Just split by products, or as long as you keep what you fill your requirements. And you can also split by productions development. So you choose this bundle is gonna be for development. I don't want to minify it. I want to be able to check it on Google Dev Tools to check what's happening in my code. If it's gonna be on production, then I want to minify it, uglify it, and just shrink it. One another thing is tree shaking. And tree shaking is one of the cool features of Webpack. I'm really in love with this feature. You know, guys, what's tree shaking, right? You just take a tree and just shake it, so you can get the fruits out of it. And that I've seen a video a long time ago about those olives tree, and they have like the cool track that shake the tree and gets all those olives. And that's like really cool. Like what? It's just like get those like olives out of the box. And that's what Webpack2 also do. It's the same concept of tree shaking. You have a big tree of dependencies. I'm gonna need this. Come on, I'm a developer too. I know what we do. Like sometimes we do stupid mistakes. Oh, I'm just gonna import this, and oh wait, maybe I need this, and just keep importing. But then when you bundle That's what you just screw with the bundles. Just everything. No, you don't need everything. You need to tree shake it first. Just put the whole dependency graph and see, oh, do I need this? Do I really need this? And Webpack does that for us just out of the box. You just have to think about it. It has this static analyzing of the dependency tree, and it just say, oh, this import is never used. I won't bundle it for you. I just keep it here. If you use it after this, I will bundle it for you. And that's one of the cool feature about it. You can read like a lot of blog posts on Medium and like a lot of videos about it. It's really cool. I recommend you to check it out. One of the reasons that we use Gulp plus Webpack is the support for CommonJS modules. And now we use TypeScript, and as you know, in TypeScript, or you don't know, in TypeScript you just write your code and you target one of the like target builds. For example, I'm writing code in TypeScript, but I'm targeting ECMAScript 5, for example, so it can be compatible with a lot of browsers. And also, I want it as a CommonJS modules. So you guys know the difference between CommonJS, AMD, ECMAScript 6 modules, stuff like that. So yeah, Webpack2 supports CommonJS module, and that's one of the reasons why we are using it. It can also bundle codes to be used in Node or web worker or stuff like that, like out of browser. That's also cool, but we don't use that feature on Betsson. We see it as an optimizer. So we mainly optimize the size of the output of the bundles from 2 megabytes to some kilobytes, and to cache requests. For example, there is this cool feature called long time caching in Webpack2. I also recommend you guys to check it out. We don't use it yet because we don't see when we can use it. But yeah, it's one of the cool features. And also, one of the reasons I told you guys beginning with System.js that we have this problem with watch, that it takes too much time to see a change that I did happen in the browser. And one of the problem that solved this issue for us, one of the cool features that solved this for us, is the dev tool, the hot module reloading offered by Webpack. And that one is not required. It's an optional one. You can activate and deactivate it in Webpack. And I also recommend it. It's really cool. I will show you after in the demo how to do it. And what it does exactly is that it watches your files, like your projects. It also extends the watch to the linked packages, and that's super cool. Like for example, I'm working the product, and I'm working a little package that is consumed in my main projects, and I'm doing change on this little package. And also this package is in TypeScript and everything, so it needs to go through all the process as same as my projects. But what Webpack do is that it doesn't see it as a small one. When you link it, it sees it as a part of the big one. So it doesn't have this problem that you can have with System.js and other module loaders when you watch packages. And also it has a development server that open a WebSocket to your site on dev mode, and that the Webpack development server. So it can just like whenever there is a change, it detects that the bundle is invalid anymore because there is a change. So it creates a new bundle, it makes it valid, and it push it directly to the site. So you don't even have to reload your page or like, oh wait, I saved, I need to reload and check, oh what if I miss the synchronization? It just do it for you through a WebSocket. So yeah, all those cool features are right there, and that's one of like we are using it now at Betsson. Yeah. Demo time. Surcode or it didn't happen. Yeah, sure. I'll try to go like I still have like 6 minutes, so I'll be fast to show you guys our configuration, our Webpack configuration. Oh, sorry. All right. So as I said, we use gulp tasks along with Webpack, and our task folder look a bit like this. We have some config, main stuff, the patterns that goes away, just like main configuration. Then we have a main entry of our gulp stuff, tasks like what we can do. We have our arguments, our util functions that we use along all the tasks. So all the tasks are grouped here. And if I go through the main task, which is gulp build, That's what we mainly do. That's the main task. And what it does, it's called gulp build. If you guys are familiar with gulp, this is how we define a task. So we do gulp. Is it clear for you, or do I need to zoom? Is it fine? Cool. So yeah, so this is it. Gulp task. It's called build. What it does, it runs scripts. A task called scripts. A task called styles. A task called images. Task called fonts. And if we go through the task called scripts, it should be here. That's it. And in the scripts, just require a lot of stuff like Lodash, Gulp, and the plugin loader for Gulp. And here where we use Webpack. So scripts, basically what it does is just takes the vendors modules and it builds them as JS files. And it also run the Webpack integration. So for the vendor JavaScript, that's just because some of the libraries that we're using, we had some problem with them. We couldn't like integrate them with Webpack. The structure of the library was a bit messy, so we just separated them. And also, so we just focus on the scripts Webpack. This is where we actually call Webpack API to perform our to do all our like objectives and all those lists that we've seen. So what we do here is just we check if it's a release, so we just pass a configuration. We basically have 3 to 5 configuration, I guess. If I go here to Webpack folder, we have the common configuration, which is common to every environment. It doesn't matter if it's production, development. And in this configuration, you will find stuff that doesn't matter if it's production or dev, like TypeScript transpiling. And here, the one cons of Webpack, I forgot to say it, is that the configuration is not verbose. Is that the hardest thing? It's just when you go through the configuration and you'll be like, oh, whoa, what is this? So this is the whole like nightmare of Webpack2. Is just you need to spend some time understanding how the configuration works, and after that you'll just be like, oh yeah, I know what's happening. So yeah, sorry guys. I try not to bullshit you, but this is it. If you guys understand Webpack2, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So this is the entry point of a Webpack configuration. This is the common one. As I said, it's not it's not environment specific. We specify what's the output. The output, we specify every constants in a separate file. So this is the dist output file. We specify our library name, which is going to be obg. That's a code name inside Betsson. And here is the important part. It's like the modules that we want. And the first one is, it's just like specifying task in Webpack. The first one says takes all the TypeScript files, and that's the loader. We're gonna say, oh, use the TypeScript loader. It's with some options, like emits require type, use cache, and do type check. And what are you gonna do and that's one loader. Second one is Angular 2 template loader. That's if we are using Angular 2 and we need this plugin along with Webpack in order to load Angular 2 files properly. We pre-process. We have feature disabling, like if you want to disable this feature or not, include it or not. Also, we have the HTML loader, and this is we are using the raw loader because the HTML in Angular 2 includes some Angular 2 syntax, so we don't want to process it. We just want to load it as it is. So and let Angular 2 do the rest. So this is a bit tricky. This is where the plugins comes in. There is like a big library of plugins on Webpack GitHub pages, so you can guys check it out. And also, this is where we resolve the modules. So this is where we specify, okay, you're gonna check this TypeScript, you're gonna check the HTML files and all the plugins that we're gonna use. Then we go to the resolve time, and we're gonna say, okay, so this is what you're gonna do. You have like, you're gonna resolve every path, which is, sorry, I forgot to mention that this plugin takes any, because we're using different libraries and every library uses a different structure, but we want to unify the structure. We're gonna, if some library use a core folder to put the important file, some library use source, some library do use ESM, some library doesn't use any folder, they just put stuff in their library. We want to unify everything into a folder called source, and that's what Webpack should look for the important code. That's what this plugin does. After that, we just take the sources, our sources, and we take the node modules, and we just tell them, okay, check all those, consider all those files with the TypeScript files, the JS file, and the typing. We have an exception for Fuse. We had a problem with it because, as you can see, node modules Fuse.js, source Fuse.js, and it's not compatible with our structure, and this is why we kept it as an exception here. This is few configuration for the server that's gonna load the hot module feature. This is for the common configuration, and also we have the dev configuration, which is more development oriented. So we have more, we specify more stuff like, oh, okay, we want to do this, and just for example here, just this is for the hot module reloading. We specify the loader, which is called source map loader. We won't have time to like go through those like in details. We have a dev vendor, so we bundle the vendor's files in development mode separately, so we can make the debug process easy after. We have the release configuration, which is basically it's the same, but it minify the HTML, and also it used the uglify JS plugin to minify the JS files and uglify them, like change the variables and stuff. And yeah, as you can see, those are all Webpack plugins, and there are like hundreds of plugins you guys can check out, and those can meet your needs. So if we go back to the gulp task, which is script. So yeah, here when we pass to the Webpack, we say the dollar here is just the plugin loader for gulp, because we're using gulp coupled with Webpack. We just tell him which config we want, and that's it. And yeah, those are other like properties that you guys can check out. And we run the Webpack bundle things to create our dist folder, so we can serve it in our website. Other tasks that we use that's out of Webpack are I don't know, like linting, but that's our gulp specific, that you don't want to bloat your mind with it. I'm just gonna show you guys quickly how we do the watch thing with Webpack and how fast it is. So if I go here, let me just zoom a bit. I don't know how to zoom here. Okay, sounds cool. So I've done, as you can see, we have like a huge project here. It's like one of our apps, and when we do it, it's just gulp build. The T flag Betsson is that for theme, because we build apps, how do you say it, like non-styled apps, then we style them the way we want, and that's like specify which theme we want, and that's like the gulp going on. It's just gulp build, then it goes to the vendor, build them, then scripts Webpack, and it builds the common bundle, the casino bundle, and other bundles. And if I run gulp watch with the theme too, so here it's gonna build the modules and serve them to the Webpack dev server, which is going to be connected to our website through WebSocket. And now it's building the bundles. And as you can see here, it says starting Webpack dev server. So this is the example app. I'm just gonna reload it. So yeah, the bundling finished, sending updates to the browser. So as you can see, it's like a push architecture. It just push changes to the browser. You don't have even to. And the bundle is now valid, no changes to it. The time taken to build the bundle. And this is it. It's connected. This is the WebSocket, as you can see here in the network tab. I'm not sure if you guys see it. And if you go to WebSockets, this is the WebSocket opened with yeah, this is the Webpack dev server that push changes to our website. If I do any changes in my code, let's say the lobby page doesn't matter if it's HTML or TypeScript. Let's do it in TypeScript, for example. I'm just gonna console log or whatever. I'm just gonna define a new variable. Gonna save it. And if I go back to here, it's like the bundle is now invalid. So Webpack detect that, okay, the bundle is not valid anymore. It's a TypeScript. We need to do stuff about it. So what it does, it's build the bundle now is valid. Bundle finishes that it's fast. I was like speaking, it was like okay. And if I go back to the browser, okay, it's a new bundle. It was just ended, I guess. I lost. Well, okay, let's do a change in HTML to see it. So it's gonna be fast again, I guess. Bam. That's it. This is our change, and also it was pushed through the WebSocket directly to our website. So this is what we call the hot module routing. It's one of the cool features. I mean, if I had time, I could show you guys a lot of features like tree shaking and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I went over time. Sorry, guys. Just gonna go back to my slides to finish this. Worth mentioning, Webpack has a cool feature called Analyzer. I'm not sure if it's official. Yeah, it's one of the officials. What it does is just give you, if you have Webpack included in your projects, you can use the official analyzer to analyze your Webpack configuration and Webpack and your package.json, and it gives you stuff like the warnings that you are doing, like for example, the index.js, this seems to be pre-built JavaScript file, and that just like makes this analyzer goes through your code and it tells you what mistakes you could have done or some errors that you have, some hints. So it helps you optimize your bundle. It tells you information about your assets that you're having, like, oh, you have these assets and this is the size of it. This is the chunks that you have, the graph dependencies. So it has cool features that you can guys check out. This is the graph dependency. Another feature is oh, sorry, I wasn't showing anything. Ah, sorry. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, it tells you stuff like the graph dependency, any warning that you may have in your Webpack configuration, the error that you have that you should definitely fix, and also some hints on how you could change your Webpack configuration. One of the other features is called the visualizer. That's developed by the community. Yeah, this is it. It's a Webpack visualizer. Sorry, and let's use the demo. So basically, what it does is just gives you a graph of your assets. So it says here that 98% of your assets are node modules. 64% are React. This is basically a React app. 61% is this thing, and based on this one, you can optimize, because there is a code that says you can't optimize when you don't have measures. It's like, what if you want to optimize, you need to have like numbers and stuff like that to optimize on. One of the latest features that has been submitted yesterday, I guess, yesterday to the Webpack open repository on GitHub was the Webpack performance budget. It's one of the coolest one. So yeah, it was submitted, I guess. Yeah, 1 day ago. It's about Webpack performance budget. The idea is that when you bundle your files, the Webpack should tell you if you are like out of. You specify a budget. Okay, I don't want my bundles to extend 400 kilobytes to be more than 400 kilobytes. So the highlighted chunks are large and likely to impact web performance. So Webpack can tell you if your bundle is valid or not based on your configurations. Like, I'm gonna say, okay, our quality manager says, oh, we are not allowed to have JS files that has this size more than 400 kilobytes. So you can specify it on your Webpack, and whenever you bundle, it should like give you a warning. Okay, this file you should do something about it. Split it into 2 chunks or something like that. and that was like submitted yesterday. If you guys go through it, there is like a big discussion about it. I mean, people talk about why this feature is useful and things like that. And also worth mentioning that Webpack2 is still in beta. They're still working on documentation. So you guys, and it's really promising if you guys want to check it out. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for your precious time. And question if there is any.